The demolition for the mini mall is currently being wrapped up in downtown Denton Square.
All right, you actually want to do it?
Yeah, let's go. University of North Texas.
Also, many changes are underway at the University of North Texas and Denton, including a new energy plant and a possible residence hall renaming.
From the Mayborn School of Journalism at the University of North Texas, this is NT Daily News.
Crews have been working over the past week to tear down what remains of the mini mall on the downtown Denton Square.
NT's Daily, Julian Esparza is live on the square with a look at how demolition is coming along.
Yeah, guys, a Prosper-based demolition company has been working all week to tear down the mini mall here on the Denton Square while making sure businesses that are next to the mini mall aren't damaged. The surrounding buildings are closed right now due to water and smoke sustained in the fire, but they are expecting to reopen soon. I talked to one vendor who had 6 booths set up inside the mini mall at the time of the fire. She was still too distraught to talk about it on camera, but she says she lost about $30,000 worth of merchandise and is sad to see that the building holds so many memories is being torn down now. Now, as for the mini mall back here on the square, crews will continue tearing it down and wooden fencing will be put up on the front of the building. And as for the owners, they are still optimistic that they will be able to rebuild. Live on the Denton Square, Julian Esparza, NT Daily News.
The race for Denton City Council is getting crowded. NT Daily's Celeste Garcia introduces us to the candidates.
If you want to run for Denton City Council, you can file an application now. So far, 8 candidates have filed. On Monday, a 4th candidate filed to run for the city's at-large Place 5 seat. Dalton Gregory, the current Place 5 councilman, announced in early January he would not seek re-election. Aaron Newquist, a banking officer, submitted his application Monday morning. He joins Deborah Armentar, an English professor at the University of North Texas, and Jody Vickers-Nance, a local social worker at Denton State Living Center. Bedvu Khan, a retired city employee, says he hopes to bring stability to the council.
So I would like to help the morale of the staff of the city.
Sarah Bagari, at large Place 6, also said she would not return to the city council for personal reasons. 3 candidates are running for this open position: Frank Dudowich, a business owner, Brian Manelas, a logistics employee at Walmart, and Paul Meltzer, a retired business executive who has served on Denton committees before.
If you have personal experience, you're just a lot more grounded, in your representation.
Mayor Chris Watts is seeking re-election to a 3rd 2-year term. No one has yet filed against him. Other council members will also be running again. No candidates have filed for any other positions. Reporting for NT Daily TV, I'm Celeste Gracia.
Candidacy applications for Denton City Council close at 5 p.m. on Friday. Early voting takes place in late April.
Denton is going completely green and is happening a lot sooner than planned. NT's Daily, Daniel Morales tells us what changes are coming.
That's right, Martha. The city has passed a resolution to buy all of its electricity from renewable sources by 2020. This resolution is an advancement from the previous goal, which hoped to provide 70% renewable energy to the city by 2035. Renewable energy is nothing new for the city. Denton already gets over 40% of its energy from renewable sources. If Denton succeeds, it will become the 2nd city in Texas and the largest in the nation to be powered by 100% renewable energy, a title currently held by Georgetown. In addition to providing environmental benefits, the city says the energy shift will also provide economic benefits.
We've done our research, we've done our homework, we've researched renewable energy thoroughly, and we think that this is the best plan both from an environmental and an economical perspective.
The city plans to build a local energy center to increase production without raising rates. You can find more information on the project at renewabledenton.com. For NT Daily News, I'm Daniel Morales.
Students at the University of North Texas are voting on an increase in the university's athletics fee today. The proposal would increase the athletics fee by $6.25, but decrease the student service fee by $2. It would bring a net increase of $4.25 per semester credit hour to students. Some students say they shouldn't have to pay more for athletics, while others say it adds to the university experience.
Yeah, it's important for us to give a place to those in fine arts. and reducing student services fees, which is what helps build our school from our libraries and all the facilities, technology. It's important to keep in mind that those resources are what makes an education more valuable, not necessarily just the experience of the athletics department here on our campus.
The voting will close on Thursday at 5 p.m. If approved, the athletic department will be provided an additional $3.5 million per year.
The University of North Texas is building a new residence hall, and the naming of the building has a petition involved. NT Daily's Tate Owen tells us why students decided to start the petition.
A new residence hall is being built at the University of North Texas, but what it should be called is drawing the attention of some students. There are currently no buildings on campus named after any women or people of color. In the past, there were 2 buildings named after women, but both of these buildings have been torn down.
UNT being a minority serving institution, that is huge. I feel like this would be a really great way to celebrate it.
I'm standing on the corner of Avenue A and Maple Street, in front of the future home of the new residence hall being built here on campus. Misaki Collins Jr. has started a petition in order to get the residence hall named after a woman or a person of color. I sat down with Misaki today to talk about the importance of her petition.
When I give tours, especially to people who've never, no one in their family has been to college, this is their first time stepping on a college campus, when we're walking them around campus and telling them about these buildings, sometimes they ask, who is this person? And most of the time it's just this used to be the president, a long time ago or something like that. If we had the opportunity to say, this was the first person of color to graduate, or this was a woman who, she was the athletic director a long time ago, that does, I believe, leave a huge impact on a prospective student.
The hall has not yet been named. It's currently being referred to simply as 2018. There are 4 days left to sign the petition. Tate Owen, NT Daily News.
If you'd like to get involved and sign the petition, please visit Misaki's Twitter page at Misaki Collins. University of North Texas has added a new degree plan. The College of Merchandising, Hospitality, and Tourism just added the Consumer Experience Management degree to its list. This degree will be offered as a Bachelor of Science within the College of Merchandising. UNT is the first to offer a degree like this. Instead of students having to double major to get the same information required for this degree, they will now be able to major in consumer experience, can focus on those aspects. This major became available this spring, and there are 3 students currently enrolled.
A 6-year-old girl became the first medical marijuana patient in Texas on February 1st, over 2 years after the Texas Compassionate Use Act was passed. While the program is limited, it is a reflection of changing attitudes and laws surrounding marijuana in Texas. NT Daily's Ellen Throneberry explains.
Texans are no strangers to the conservative laws surrounding marijuana in their state, but the past 3 years have brought major changes when it comes to marijuana legislation in Texas. In 2015, state lawmakers passed the Texas Compassionate Use Act, a program providing sufferers of intractable epilepsy with a low THC-based treatment option. 3 dispensaries received licenses to manufacture and distribute these treatments in 2016. For marijuana activists, the move came as a surprise.
Right now, we are on the cusp of the Texas Compassionate Use Program, which went into effect in 2015, signed into law by Governor Abbott, which was very surprising because he had stated that he would not sign any cannabis legislation into law, which we now know is false because we have the Texas Compassionate Use Program.
Opponents of marijuana legislation, including ELK's Drug Awareness Program, point to connections drawn between marijuana use and depression, failure at school, and memory loss. In a brochure distributed by the program, concerns are raised that legalization may be a message to youth that drugs are not bad and that society is not willing to pay the cost to protect them. Espinoza, a spastic cerebral palsy sufferer, points to the medicinal value of cannabis products which he says have positively impacted his life, allowing him to stop using a motorized scooter within 3 months of beginning cannabis-based treatment in place of opioids.
So to me, it's more about medical freedom than anything else. When you try the pharmaceutical medications and you're constantly barraged by all of these side effects that go along with that, you seek a safer alternative, and that's what cannabis is.
Chad West, a Dallas-based lawyer specializing in marijuana-related offenses, has spent a lot of time advocating for Texas marijuana reform.
I tell people in Normal this all the time. I say, you know, you can't ask for full legalization and expect Texas to embrace that. It's not going to happen. You've got to take baby steps. You've got to champion the baby steps that we take and thank the legislature for giving us a little bit at a time, and then show them that we can be responsible consumers of medical marijuana.
West believes if the state realizes there are profits to be made off of the taxing of marijuana sales, legalization will be on the horizon. Reporting for NT Daily News, I'm Ellen Thornberry.
Currently, CBD oil is legal as a supplement, but it is not the same as THC products.
How will President Trump's new federal budget plan affect Denton? The answer coming up next.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
President Trump announced a new federal budget. The plan includes cuts to the State Department and foreign aid, as well as budget increases for NASA and the military.
This morning, I submitted legislative principles to Congress that will spur the biggest and boldest infrastructure investment in American history. The framework will generate an unprecedented $1.5 to $1.7 trillion investment in American infrastructure. We're going to have a lot of public-private, and that way it gets done on time, on budget.
The plan faces mixed reactions from Congress and citizens. Critics say he broke his campaign promise to not cut funding for Medicare or Medicaid. Supporters point out he kept true to his pledge for a wall along the Mexican-American border, putting $17 billion towards the project.
President Donald Trump has finally talked about the infrastructure plan he mentioned during his presidential campaign and in the State of the Union. I look into how it could affect Denton. This Monday, President Trump met with governors, mayors, and county executives in the White House to discuss the type of infrastructures cities and counties need. What does this mean for Denton? Professor at the University of North Texas, Thomas Miles, says Denton could benefit if it's willing to spend some money.
The city has to come up with the money because the new transportation bill, as it's proposed, would only pay for 1/5 of the funding. States and local governments have to come up with the other 4/5.
Believes Denton may not see much of this money because the plan doesn't highlight some of Denton's greatest needs.
I think it'll kind of be a flop for Denton because what Denton desperately needs right now is funding for existing road maintenance.
Denton wants to receive or at least be considered for the infrastructure plan. Professor Benavides believes the regions and counties near Denton show
type of, in my mind, some type of regional plan that helps not only Denton, but Louisville below us, south of us, or Sanger and Crum north of us. You know, how is the city's...
The infrastructure plan will be used to help improve the waste industry, water industry, and transportation, and the broadband internet access. The infrastructure plan has not been debated in Congress yet.
A 10-year-old boy says he crawled home after getting struck by a hit-and-run driver in Austin. The boy was walking home from school on a sidewalk Friday when he says a car jumped the curb and struck his leg. He says the impact pushed him into a tree. CNN's Alyssa Gord reports.
I remember hitting something hard when I jumped out of the way.
3 days earlier, Caden Walsh was on this sidewalk, making the half-mile trek home from school as he always does.
And I was at the post office and a car turned that corner right there and then he hit me when I was moving, trying to move out of the way when I saw him. And luckily it was just my leg that got hit.
These tire tracks on the grass, he says they're from the car that sped away. He crawled a quarter of a mile home.
He's down at the bottom of the stairs. His leg is just covered in blood. I mean, he's probably had like a ball peen hammer sized chunk of his leg missing in his shin. And he's just screaming blood curdling scream.
The family gave us these photos. They say it was tough to see all the blood.
He could have been dead on the side of the road because somebody just took off because they didn't care enough to even go check on him. They just took off. What kind of person does that?
Their son says the car that hit him was a dark-colored SUV. They're hoping someone else may have video to prove it.
Somebody out there knows something, and we just want that person to come forward, and so we can solve this and we can get justice for my 10-year-old son.
After a hospital visit and some stitches, Caden has bounced back, but he can't shake how he felt that day.
Really scared.
Coming up, a look at human trafficking in Denton, how you can keep yourself safe and aware. Human trafficking is the third largest crime industry in the country. Last month, the city of Denton held a human traffic awareness event to help citizens become more aware. Human trafficking affects more people than you know. In order to help Denton citizens learn how they can become more aware, we sat down with our local Denton patrol officers to learn how we can prevent human trafficking, but also become more aware of our surroundings at night.
That I've been to, it seems like it's always like a group effort. There's multiple people that play different parts in it.
Deputy Myers has been a patrol officer for 5 years now and says the biggest problem is allowing repeat offenders.
They get away with it because it's escorting, and people don't think escorting is prostitution, so.
A study conducted by the University of Texas found that over 300,000 people fall victim to human trafficking yearly in the state of Texas. Social media and late-night shopping are invisible patterns that handlers use to find their next victim.
It's called Slow It Down, SID. SAT means stop and think. SID-SAT. Get your friends that are going to Walmart at 3 in the morning to slow it down a bit and say, do I really need to go to Walmart at 3 in the morning?
When you're out driving at night, make sure you park by a light pole. If you go out past midnight to go shopping, make sure you have a buddy with you. These are the small, simple tasks that we can take as citizens to help prevent human trafficking, but also help a loved one from falling victim into the hands of a handler that could be involved in human trafficking. Human trafficking affects almost 79,000 minors in the state, and it costs the state of Texas over $6 billion, according to the University of Texas.
Denton Mayor Chris Watts will give the State of the City address on Thursday. The event will gather Denton City Council staff and other community members. A formal presentation will cover milestones of the past year and key priorities for the future. City staff will host a coinciding engagement fair to provide information about programs and happenings in the community. The event will start at 6:30 at the Embassy Suites on Town Center Trail in Denton.
UNT is the only university in the country with this unique connection to the Olympics. More coming up next.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
A new delivery service app just made its way to Denton. NT's Daily, Alexis Trinidad shows us what to expect.
There's almost nothing worse than having to drive all the way back to the grocery store because you forgot just one item. Well, with Denton's latest delivery app, you don't have to.
Denton introduced Favor on Monday. Favor is the delivery service app that allows you to have anything from groceries to dry cleaning brought right to your door. Denton joins more than 15 other Texas cities, including Austin, San Antonio, and Houston, in using the app. Signing up is fast and easy. Once an account is made, you can choose from restaurants, grocery stores, and more for your favors. There's even deals to save on delivery charges in the $3 anytime section. Favor driver Adrienne Galley has been excited about its launch since she heard of its coming to Denton.
For me, it's the flexibility. I have kids that are in school, so to be able to run while they're in class is nice, and I do enjoy doing favors for people.
Once orders are processed, you can track your order and your driver as they fulfill your favor. The smartphone app allows both the driver and the recipient to contact one another to prevent misdirection.
It's that easy. So next time you need something delivered, skip going to the grocery store and just call in a favor. With NT Daily, I'm Lexi Trinidad.
Favors are available to be delivered every day from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m.
UNT's Department of Kinesiology, Health Promotion, and Recreation has ties to the Olympics. The department is the first collaborating center of the International Federation of Sports Medicine in the United States. There are 23 labs around the world. The lab displays the Olympic rings throughout the PEB at UNT and the only official sports medicine organization allowed to use the Olympic rings in the country. Professor John Narite helped the Applied Physiology Lab with connections towards the Olympics.
Marlin in the lab, they're already bringing in $2 million in research projects. So I knew we had the quality. So I just had to make the connections and go through the process.
Hopes to see more people excited about the physiology lab in years to come. The 2018 Winter Olympics are well underway. Team USA has won 6 medals so far, trailing behind Germany, Netherlands, Norway, and Canada. 2 of the gold medals are for ladies and men's snowboarding slopestyle. The 3rd gold medal came from the ladies snowboarding halfpipe. The remaining medals are from men's luge, figure skating, and ladies halfpipe.
Could it make Fat Tuesday in New Orleans this year? There were plenty of Mardi Gras celebrations right here in the Denton community. UNT UPC hosted its own Mardi Gras today for 2 to 4 p.m. in the Syndicate and Union Patio. There was free food such as jambalaya and king cake. Also, they handed out masks and colorful beads to get people in the Mardi Gras spirit and had live music. That's our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time for NT Daily News.